I just want to soak up the moment for a minute. Shockingly, I have a few things to say before we actually start the ceremony. I'm sure it's not a surprise to anyone. First, I want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. These folks obviously here very much appreciate it, and it's a very special day. So thank you for coming. Thank you for those who were considerate enough to come on time. Those that didn't, you missed a little bit of a show, but that's okay. It's funny. Andy calls me up one evening and says, hey, can Kate and I come over and speak to you? Naturally, I was concerned that it was another attempt at an intervention for me, so I said, I don't want you guys coming. And he assured me, no, that's not it, please, can I come? So, okay, fine. So they showed up, and Kate was very nervous. I'm telling the story, young lady. She was nervous. And I could tell there was something going on. They wanted to ask me something, and they had some paperwork. So again, pending lawsuit, but it wasn't that. But I said, do you want to ask me something? Does it have to do with your engagement party? Or are you getting married? And Andy said, we want to know if you'll marry us. And honestly, that really meant a lot to me. Apparently, there is no monetary meaning to it, but emotionally, it meant a lot to me. And it was really interesting to see the dynamic between the two of them because, Kate's like, is he going to be okay with this? He's going to be okay with this? And he's like, well, if he gets a microphone in front of him, he'll be thrilled. He doesn't care. It'll be a great time for him. It is a good time. So then we started discussing exactly what my role would be. I obviously had different ideas than they did, but, that's fine. I was thinking about a Latin service that lasted about 2 hours, 45 minutes, and they weren't happy with that. I'm just saying, if you ask the Pope to marry you, you don't tell him how to do it, but that's fine. So then the question was, well, what exactly are you going to say? And I said, well, are there limitations? Am I able to say anything I want? And Andy said, well, it's got to be PG. And that was going to be tough for me, I realized. But I looked up PG, actually, and you know that they allow one F-bomb and partial nudity. So, in a lot of ways, what happens next is not my fault at all. It's really you for allowing me to do this. So, I started training to get ready to do this. I was on a steady diet of virgin goat's milk every single day and out running. And a lot of time I was thinking about what it was I was going to say here because I got no feedback from them. And I thought about Andy and Kate, and I thought about how long I had known Andy. And Andy and I first met, he was probably about 16 years old. I was probably 17, I don't know. A year older, perhaps. And I started thinking about when we first became friends, and Andy always tells this story. I think he was 20, so I was 21, maybe. And we were working together at a store, and the store closed at 6 o'clock, and at about 5, I said, Andy, do me a favor, lock up the store. And he said, but there are customers going to be coming. It doesn't matter, lock up the store. And then I started making us cocktails, and we began to play pool on a $10,000 pool table that the store owned. Well, I think Andy felt we were friends after that night. I felt we were friends the next day when he didn't tell my boss that we had done that. And we were really good friends ever since. Cut to, I don't know how many years later, I'm trying to hang out with Andy, and he just keeps going to this bar, and he's like, oh, I'm going to Diamonds tonight. I'm like, Diamonds? Is this some sort of gentleman's club that I'm not aware of? It sounds like, folks, it's okay, it's Sports Diamond, you know what I mean? Kate was not working, it was a regular bar. So he's like, oh, I like to go to Diamonds all the time. And what does this bar have? I don't understand. Well, why is this so great? You know, you can get cold Miller Lite pretty much anywhere now. So I decided to go with him one day, and we went in, and we sat down, and I noticed something about him. I noticed the way he was staring at the bartender. And not the stare like, if you don't get me a Miller Lite right now, I'll murder you stare. It was kind of like a different kind of stare. And then I remember when like Kate came over and got Andy a beer without asking what he wanted, got him a Miller Lite. And the way that she was looking at him and the way that they were looking at each other, it might not have been obvious to you guys, but it was obvious to me and probably anyone else that there was something going on there. And I started to think, okay, well, you have a really attractive woman who seems to like you, which, sort of. She's bringing you cold beer. Why do we wait this long to get married? That's what I don't know. Because, it probably should have happened sooner. But it was really nice to see, because having known Andy for so long, when you see someone grow up and you see sort of their life change in front of your eyes, it really makes a difference. And in life, so many things happen to us, and there's so many good times, and there's bad times. I mean, that's just the reality. And things are hard, and things are good. And people always talk about, well, is life about fate? Is it destiny, or do we make choices in our lives that change everything? To that, I don't think any of that matters. The most significant thing, I believe, is who you choose to walk through your life with. And I think that you two have chosen very wisely. And that's great. So, at this point, we're going to move on with the ceremony. I have to go to Temple Beth Shalom and do a bar mitzvah. Pretty soon the Greenbergs are waiting for me. So, at this point, I would like to now begin the ceremony. Yeah, sure. Could have done the whole thing from this side. Marriage is a union of two people, founded upon mutual respect and affection. Your lives will change, your responsibilities will increase, but your joy will be multiplied. And if you're sincere and earnest with your pledge to one another, you'll have everything you've ever wanted in the world. Andy, will you have this woman to be your wedded wife, to love her, comfort her, honor her, and keep her, forsaking all others, keep you only onto her for so long as you both shall live? Kate, will you have this man to be your wedded husband, to love him, to comfort him, honor and keep him, forsaking all others, keep you only to him, let him go out with his friends every once in a while for a couple of drinks maybe, not that often though, for as long as you both shall live? Take hands and repeat after me, please. I, Andy, take you, Kate Kennedy, to be my wedded wife, to have and to hold, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, to love and to cherish, from this day forward. I, Kate, take you, that's Andy Mason, to be my wedded husband, to have and to hold, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, to love and to cherish, from this day forward. Could we please have the ring for the bride? Place the ring on the bride's finger and say, "With this ring I thee wed." Where we have the other ring, please. Please place the ring on the groom's finger and say the following: "With this ring I thee wed." Let these rings be given and received as a token of affection and sincerity and fidelity to one another. Inasmuch as Kate Kennedy and Andy Mason have been brought together in wedlock and have witnessed the same before this company and pledged their vows to each other, the authority vested in me by the state of Massachusetts Now pronounce you man and wife. Kiss the bride.